Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Sean, sometimes known as the Beast, and I've got a couple of vinyl to show you, a CD and a zine that's just coming. First off, massive thanks to John over at Rock and Metal Plus for inviting me onto his live stream on Saturday just gone. Thanks for everyone that tuned in. I watched some of it back and I have to admit I was a little bit disappointed with the picture quality from my end and the sound quality, but it was my first live stream and it was a good laugh, so hopefully if I get invited back I'll try and make the picture look a little bit more betterer and try and be a bit more professional, because them two boys did quite a lot of the heavy lifting to get us through that 3 hours and 15 minutes I think it was. Anyway, hello to the new subscribers. Welcome, hope you find something that keeps you coming back. If you find something interesting, give it a thumbs up and a like and subscribe and comment and all that stuff that YouTube asks us to make it so we think was something important. But right, let's get cracked on, show you some music, so that's what we're here for really. First up is the latest album by the band Graceless. This is their fourth full length called Icons of Ruin. This came out this year in 2025. This is on Listenable Records. These gentlemen are from the Netherlands. Now this is absolutely packed full of riffs and hard hitting hooks. It's sort of tempered by like a doomy feel in places. The production's really clean, and it means that you can hear all the individual, it's easy for me to say, instrumentation. There's a few moments where the death metal sort of temporarily, not put to a side, but sort of like replaced, I would say, by like some proper doom passages, or maybe you could even call them mellow, but then it comes back in smashing your face in with an 84-pound sledgehammer. Inside it we get the inlay card with the gentleman on that side and the information regarding who, what, where and when. On this side we get the lyrical content. I read a review on this. Avert your eyes if you're not a fan of coloured vinyl, but at the time it was the only one that I could grab hold of. It's not too bad, I suppose. Yeah, I read a couple of reviews saying it was very much samey all the way through, and I thought, well, yeah, I can sort of understand what they mean, but if it's not broken, then why try and fix it? For me, this is a really solid slab of death metal with a few doom passages thrown in for good measure. Definitely well worth a listen, and I wouldn't be surprised if it makes it into my end of year list in some position. So that is Graceless and their Icons of Ruin. So next up is a split that I'd been after it for quite some time. I believe the first person I saw showing it was Liam, the Death Doom Metalhead, and I knew one of the bands, which was the reason I wanted it, and yeah, finally managed to get a copy. So the split is actually called The Sempiternal Wound, and it features the bands Jade and Sanctuarium. This came out in 2024 on Pulverized Records. I believe both of these bands are from Spain. I might be wrong there. Jade are sort of atmospheric death metal. Sempiternal, I would say, a little bit more sort of death doom. 5 tracks altogether. Jade are responsible for the first 3, and if you've heard Jade before, then you sort of know what to expect. Really good, really polished, atmospheric death metal. It's very thought-provoking, quite melancholic even at times. The inlay card has the Jade on that side and Sanctuarium on that side. Yeah, the Jade side, the riffs are just superb. Pounding drums, really sort of, it's on good old-fashioned black wax. Yeah, the production is really clean and very full sounding. Yeah, really good split, well worth grabbing. Sempiternal, it starts off, I mean, a glacially heavy pace, and it's sort of almost not quite, but similar to like Funeral Doom, but then the pace does pick up, the tempo does increase, and it's one of those albums that, sorry, that side of the album, if you're after something cheerful to lift your spirits, then probably not what you're going with. If you're in a foul, filthy mood and you think, yeah, fuck the world, I want to stay in a foul, filthy mood, stick them 2 tracks on, and I'm pretty sure it's not going to brighten your day in any way, shape or form. It's just crushing, horrific death doom, guttural vocals, and it's just nasty, but absolutely wonderful and well worth grabbing, or well worth listening to at least. I will leave links down in the description as I normally do. So that is the Sempiternal Wound, a split between Jade and Sanctuarium. As if this was like I'd planned it out and everything, the next one is actually the Mighty Jade. Wow, I mean, it's like as if I planned it. This is their second full length, again out on Pulverized Records. This is called Mysteries of a Flowery Dream. Again, this came out 2025. As I just said, Jade from Spain. This needs to be heard by as many people as is humanly possible, and even some of the demonic, you know, satanic dwellers that occasionally raise a head above the parapet. This is absolutely wonderful. This is at times has quite a sort of like a dreamy atmosphere to it. There's just layers and layers and layers of skill, musicianship. The songs are really well crafted. The riffs are quite catchy without being overly technical, or like, you know, they aren't annoying. The inlaid sheet, we get the gents and then some of the information there. Lyric sheet on that side. The vocals on this are really emotive, and some of the sort of cleaner vocals are quite like angst ridden, sound pained, and, you know, quite almost disturbing. Well, not almost disturbing, definitely disturbing. But it's just one of those records that you can't, I'm probably never ever going to be able to do it justice with my limited vocabulary. It's absolutely wonderful release. I don't know if the note will show up. I'll try and hold it against there, but I thought that was quite a nice touch to put in a little handwritten note with the record. I think little touches like that, you know, it doesn't take a lot to do, but it does mean quite a lot to us collector scum. Not just for me anyway. But yeah, absolutely wonderful record and well worth getting into your ears. Fantastic release. So that is Jade and Mysteries of a Flowery Dream. Now the next one, my good friend Dave up at Cavernous Carnage was going on about it and said had I heard it yet, and if I hadn't I was a fucking fucking idiot and stuff like that. When you mentioned it, I went straight onto Amazon, and luckily enough the CD at that time was something daft like £5.27 something. So this is, now again I think it's pronounced Sigin, I ain't sure. This is a Sumerian Promises. This came out in 2021. It's a debut full length. These gentlemen are from Germany and Spain. It's death metal. This is quite a like thrash infused death metal. It's got hooks and riffs for, you know, for forever. It's a proper punishing sound to it. The vocals are quite growled, but they are understandable. The production is it's a heavy production, and it sort of it just sounds violent, if that makes any sense. It probably won't if I'm saying it, but you know, it's that that sort of death metal vibe that just comes in, aggressive, powerful, angry. Absolutely wonderful release. They have got a new album out, but at the moment it's ridiculously priced, so I will pick it up. I would actually like to get this on vinyl, having now heard it on CD, but in no great rush. But yeah, if you like I was and you haven't heard Sigin, I'll put the names as it, so it's easier to, because I'm probably butchering the pronunciation, but yeah, Sigin and Sumerian Promises from 2021. Absolutely belter. Oh, it's out on Sepulchral Voice Records. Well, that's it for the actual music side of things, but I want to give a shout out and show the latest edition of the Slowly We Rot zine. This zine's out from Transylvania. This is one of my favourites. It's always full of really good interviews, reviews. You know, it's just it's not one that's full of advertisements. It's not one that's full of bollocks. It's just a really good, well put together, well composed, well researched zine. Absolutely. Every time it comes up for a pre-order, it's an instant pre-order from me. This is issue number 25. I think I've got the last, maybe about the last 6 or something like that. But yeah, you always get a free like compilation CD as well. On this one we have such bands as Apocalyptic Necro Holocaust, Commoner, Deadborn Vision, Demoniac, Exorcism, Frostmourner, Grave Altar. So if nothing else, it's worth getting these, because a lot of the bands, I'm guessing, I certainly haven't heard of quite a few of these. Again, the only downside of that is that when you hear one track and you think, oh, that's good, if you collect a scum like me, then you feel obliged to go and buy the albums. There's the actual disc itself. But yeah, so that's the Slowly We Rot zine, issue number 25, out of Transylvania. Right, before I say ta-ta, I'm just going to give a couple of quick shout outs to a couple of channels I've just started watching. There's a gentleman from up here in the northeast just started a channel called The Dark Life. I'll leave a link down below in the description. And what he's doing at the moment is, I think he's done maybe 5 videos, but it's all horror themed. So music, books, videos, just sort of like going through his collection and saying, and chatting about things and telling stories and stuff. And he's got a really, what's the word? Just a real like natural calmness about him. And you know, if you watch his videos, he does say he's still learning, and you know, expect a few mistakes, but I think that's just part of being on YouTube. So yeah, I'll leave a link to his channel down below. The reason I found his channel is because of another one I've just started watching. He's been around a little bit longer. It's Aaron from Grind Slime TV. He puts about 800 videos out a week. He's showing some really obscure bands, but also some really good bands as well. Now the obscure ones are only obscure because obviously I've never heard them, but I've seen a few on there and thought, oh yeah, I like the look of this. And he doesn't mind courting controversy with some of the things that he shows, but again, he's just an absolute top bloke. And like I say, I'll leave the links to both gents down in the description. You pop over there and give them a spin, and if you think they're worthy, give them a subscription. So yeah, so that's it for this one. Again, thanks to John for hosting the live stream on Saturday, and thanks to Marty for doing a lot of the heavy lifting with his his ridiculous amount of Blu-rays and DVDs he had to show. I thought I was doing well, but nah, that lad knows his sick and twisted movies. So any of these that you know about, please pop down in the comments and we'll have a chat about them. Again, like I've always said, that's part of the fun. And check out the two lads I mentioned, and as always, look after one another, enjoy whatever music you're listening to, whatever genre of music you're listening to, until we come back with, I would think it'll be a black metal update. Cheers!